Attu. It is a rocky, snow-swept island, positioned almost halfway between Siberia and Alaska. At the tip of the Aleutian volcanic island chain, the island is only 20 miles wide and 35 miles long. Its bitterly cold coast is almost not worth mentioning, but 70 years ago, during one of the bloodiest land campaigns of World War II, a story took place. This account is not one of heroes or legends, but rather one of unfortunate circumstance where a man found himself torn between principles and countries. The Battle of Attu, or the Fall of Attu, was an American offense effort to regain ground lost to the Japanese in June of 1942.
They went to the Aleutian territories, figuring that if they could occupy it, they could use that as a staging point for then bombing the American West Coast.
Among those fighting was Paul Tatsuguchi, a graduate of Pacific Union College and a doctor who studied medicine at the College of Medical Evangelists, now known as Loma Linda University. After graduating, he and his wife returned to Tokyo as medical missionaries at the Tokyo Sanitarium. In January 1941, what was dreaded happened. Dr. Tatsuguchi, a pacifist, was ordered to stop his mission work at the Tokyo Sanitarium and was drafted into the 1st Imperial Guard Infantry Regiment. He was then sent to Army Medical School. He was only allowed to return home on assigned days, and on one rainy fall day, in 1942, Dr. Tatsuguchi saw his pregnant wife and 3-year-old daughter for the last time. Dr. Tatsuguchi was sent to the Aleutians, where their principal duty was to build a small army supply base. When American intelligence heard of the Japanese occupation, it took them 7 months to respond. As soon as American forces landed on Massacre Bay, Dr. Tatsuguchi began a gripping diary that was kept for 18 days. Today, it is the only eyewitness account from the Japanese side. May 13, Battle.
The U.S. forces landed at Shibadai and Massacre Bay. There is tremendous mountain artillery gun firing. Approximately 15 patients come into the field hospital.
May 15, Battle.
Continuous flow of wounded to a field hospital caused by the fierce bombardment of enemy land and naval forces. The West Arm units have withdrawn to near Shitigati-dai. In a raid, I was ordered to West Arm, but it was called off. Just lay down from fatigue in the barracks. Facial expression of soldiers back from West Arm is tense.
By now, the Americans have captured the entire Holtz Valley, an important advance that forces back the Japanese front line. Dr. Tatsuguchi retreats, taking his makeshift hospital with him over the icy terrain. May 17, Battle.
At night about 1800, under cover of darkness, I left the cave. The stretcher went over muddy roads and steep hills of no man's land. No matter how far or how much we went, we didn't get to pass. Was rather irritated in the fog by the thought of getting lost. Sat down every 20 or 30 steps. Would sleep, dream, wake up again. Same thing over and over again. The patient on the stretcher who does not move is frostbitten.
Americans continue the advancement and secure Holtz Valley, Holtz Bay, and the harbor facilities. The Americans have suffered 1,100 casualties, 500 from exposure to the elements. There are now 12,500 American troops on the island, but the Japanese force numbers less than 2,000 men. May 21, Battle.
Was strafed when amputating a patient's arm. It is the first time since moving over to Chicago Harbor that I went in an air raid. Commanding officer is severe and has said his last words to his NCOs and officers that he will die tomorrow. Gave all his articles away. Hasty chap, this fellow. The officers at the front are doing a fine job. Everyone who heard this became desperate and things became disorderly.
Despite hopeless odds, the Japanese Imperial Headquarters orders Admiral Kawasa to save the Attu Island Defense Force at all costs. He is told that every attempt will be made for evacuation. American troops expand to 16,000 men.